at 6:30. So we will begin. We will open the meeting of the Town Planning Board for April the 12th, 2021 with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Good evening.
I've got the first item on the agenda is for approval of our minutes of our last meeting on March the 22nd.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Richard,
Second.
second by Michael Roy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion unanimously carries. Now, the next item on the agenda is a matter that we've resolved fully once before. This is Falk Renewables. This is a special use permit and site plan amendment for the solar array located at 8507 Green Lakes Road. Is there someone here to speak on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, I'm moving them all into the meeting now. We're doing it a little bit differently this time. Instead of everyone being in the meeting, I'm going to push them in and out as the public hearings come up. So I'm going to finish that process now.
Thank you, Allison.
Good evening, this is Jody Hunt. Can you hear me?
Yes. Jody, can you hear us?
I can, and Teddy's on as well.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again.
I've told the board that we previously resolved this, but you have asked to be heard again. Can you tell us what you are looking for in addition to what's previously been given?
Sure. Happy to do that. So there was a few points that we wanted to tie up. Number one was the number of years that were provided for the special use permit. In this case, we're requesting an additional period, and the number that we are requesting is 25 years for the special use permit to be in full force. And the reason is that our business is a little bit different than the typical businesses that the town has, wherein as I remember the last time we spoke, we talked about a dog grooming business or a kennel. And if that individual that opens a kennel is not able to abide by the town's rules, the discretionary permit simply just wouldn't be renewed after 7 years. They could take their goodwill on the balance sheet and they could go down to Pompeii and open their business there, and they could move all their equipment. Our business is a little bit different in the case that it's more like someone saying that you're allowed to buy a home, right? And you can take a mortgage out on the home, but you're only allowed to live there for 7 years. And if for some reason they decide not to renew the permit, you're not allowed to sell the house, but you are allowed to take it apart and move it somewhere else. So just trying to put it in terms of something that is near and dear to everyone, which is home ownership. That's the way our solar facility works is, we need that full 25-year period to make our revenues back and have a small single-digit return on investment. So we were hoping that there would be an extension from the 7-year typical standard use permit renewal period to a much longer term.
Okay. Did I also hear you wanted to address the issue of trees?
That is correct. So there was several issues of trees. Number one, there was a request for landscaping on Green Lakes Road, and we just never proposed, and you never accepted a plan. So we were working in the background with Doug and Jody to address that plan. We can show you it this evening, and we hope the board accepts it. On North Eagle Village Road, there was a requirement to put 30 trees on the property of each neighbor. As it were, the Young's property just can't house 30 trees. We also have a landscaping plan there that we'd like to share this evening and get approved by the board.
Teddy, right now, we're gonna deal just with Green Lakes. So that
Oh,
we
excuse
don't-
me.
so that
Pardon,
we don't get
pardon.
confused.
Pardon. So I'll take that one back. The other issue with the trees was the date for planting the trees was 4/30, which is this month. We haven't started construction on the project, so we were hoping to move that date to 12/31/2021.
Okay. So the bottom line is you're
If I
saying,
can, if I could just interrupt on that, I did have some conversations with your counsel. And I thought the date was 2022, which I thought was a little strange. So is it 2021, December 2021?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. And there was 2 other edits I wanted to make, Jamie, and what our council sent over, but I'm happy to bring those up after we discuss the tree issue.
did anyone want to ask questions about this?
Yeah,
Please feel free.
Ted, can you just repeat what you said? I didn't totally understand it. There's 2 other issues that you want to discuss?
So there's the tree planting issue. There's the tree planting issue, which is we wanted to submit a plan to have you approve so that everyone was crystal clear on exactly how many trees and where the trees would go. The other issue was to change the date from 4/30 to 12/31/2021. The other issues, one was we had sent over the name of the individual who was the person who stamped the plans, and it was just spelled wrong. So I wanted to rectify that, and I'm happy to do it now. It's SEILSKI. So we had just misspelled the professional engineer's name, and the word prepared was misspelled as well. So we wanted to make sure that was cleaned up in the actual standard use permit language. So and then are you asking me to
One
repeat
other
in regards
question.
to the 25
Yeah.
years? Yes. Go
Excuse
ahead.
me, Teddy, is it tetra or is it, there were 2 different?
Tetra.
So that's misspelled also. Jamie, we've gone from 7 to 15. Now we're being asked to go to 25. Where did the discussion get us to 15? Who was that discussion with and when did it take place?
The only discussion was a preliminary discussion amongst the pre-planning committee. That's where the 15 came from. Originally it was 7, and then there
Right.
was a discussion. So that's out there for further discussion. It's only a place saver.
Okay, and then there was some discussion today that modified the language as far as the length of time for this permit. There's some language that was added a few hours ago. And where did that come from?
Request of their counsel, the addition of the language of so many days from the date of the certificate of completion and may thereafter be renewed. It was explained to me by their counsel that they're answering to a much larger entity than themselves that oversees this, and also with respect to financing the project, there's a concern about the discretionary nature of a special permit, which is why they're looking for more time. I had explained to council that that's up to this board. We kind of, looked at maybe 15 as being a compromise, and may thereafter be renewed language is just to kind of make people happy in the financing world.
Okay, and the final, I'll say legal question I have, Jamie, hopefully we have this, but we started off with one entity, a change to another entity. Now we're with, I believe, a third entity. Do we have documentation in our files that show, for example, when we sent it off to the county, it was FLAC.
Oh,
And so the county responded to that, and now we have a different entity. Is that all tied together so that our files are complete?
I would send that to Lisa as far as what we've got, but I'm relying on the correspondence of council and can get something also specific from her if you like.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that it's tied down with who we're dealing with.
And we can do that.
Anyone else?
Joe, I've got a question.
Yes, Arnie.
I understand Teddy's concern about not being able to take the long-range view that this project requires when he's got a 7-month or 7-year deadline looking at, and that I certainly understand. But Teddy, looking at it, turn yourself 180 degrees, look at it from the point of view of the town. We're effectively granting you an option to do whatever you want to do for the next umpteen years with no guarantee that you're going to do it. There's no recourse on our part other than shutting you down at some period of time. Where's the guarantee that you or some other entity isn't going to fulfill this project and in fact create the solar array that's going to bring all this new energy to all those lucky Manlius residents?
Great question. And I think the place, I can point to the town code that requires us to put in and pay for a decommissioning surety bond.
Right.
So I think that's the surety that the town has in regards to us fulfilling our obligations or under the law as an operating entity. In terms of building the project, right, we're going to have a certain amount of time from when the permit is issued to get the project into construction and then get the project built.
When do you anticipate building it?
Hopefully we will be applying for building permits in the next 60 days.
Teddy, that's a good answer and I appreciate it. But the decommissioning presumes that the project is going to serve its useful lifetime, and then you're going to restore the land to the way it was when you started.
Mhm.
Fine. What happens if you stop somewhere before you get to that point? That's what I'm asking. What happens if something goes badly wrong and the project doesn't continue to function? Where's the surety bond? Is that going to get us out of that mess, let's say at 12 years or 14 years instead of waiting for 25?
Yes, we're required to post a surety bond. It's going to be, it's funny that we're talking about this just because I was going to bring it up a little later after we were done speaking about these two projects in the standard use permit. But we need to have that bond in place, presumably on day one.
Okay.
So that's what we're planning on. It's something that we need to bring to council and hear exactly what this board wants, but we expect to have a surety bond in place so that if anything were to go wrong, as you were saying, that you would be, and we didn't remove the system, right? And we're talking worst case scenario, which I don't believe is going to happen, but anything could happen. That bond, you could call that bond and pay for the system's removal.
Thank you.
Thank you
Teddy,
very much.
are you purchasing the property or renting it?
We will be leasing the parcel from JRT Properties, which is owned by Chuck and his family.
Okay. And Arnie and Ann, this may answer the questions that you had on this. We've begun to put in our special use permit that they have 1 year to pull a building permit and 2 years to finish construction. If they don't, they've got to come back to us.
Oh,
So
good.
that gives us a little bit of an assurance that they're going to get started within the 2 or 3 year period.
Good, excellent.
That's a new condition for that we didn't have in their permit before it because we came up with it later. So now it's in. So that's a plus.
That's it.
We're being uniform about that though, and that's very appropriate. So the discussion is, do we want
Mr.
to
Chairman?
extend this from the standard seven years?
Yeah, if I may, this is Dan Spitzer. I think in terms of what Ms. Stefan said, I think your code actually says it has to commence within a certain period of time and the special use permit expires. So that's built into your town code, I believe. So if you want to put specific condition in, as Teddy said, he's ready to go. But I think your code covers that as well, so that the situation that the board member is concerned about cannot occur. Yet, if they simply do one simple thing and they requires any restoration, that bond's in place and you can undo it.
Jamie, again, I hate to bother you all night, but let's say that they build this, it's up and running, and they decide to sell it to another entity. Is there any approval? Do we have any input or approval process in that? Or is it an automatic assignment? We have nothing to say about it.
There's no prohibition on the assignment. So the special permit will run with the, it basically runs with the land and the next entity.
Okay.
I
And
imagine that between the two of them, they'll exchange some funds that will, replace that bond, but that's not for us to worry about either.
And Joe,
Go ahead, Rich.
I was just gonna say, you asked a question a couple minutes ago about going from 7 to what we have in the special use permit 15. I know Teddy just asked for 25. Just my 2 cents worth, I'm uncomfortable with 25. It's a stretch for me to get to 15, but that's something that I understand their business model, that they need more than 7 years. I get it. I'm okay with the 15, but I would not want to go to 25.
Funny you should say that. That's my feel. That's my feeling as well. I think our ordinary period for the special use permits of 7 years in most instances is fine. But here there are exceptional circumstances, and that's the initial investment that these folks are making. I can understand their desire and need to have a longer term. In my opinion, 25 years is way too long, though. I could feel comfortable with 15, but I'm not in the slightest degree comfortable with 25. What do you other folks think?
I agree.
I do too.
I agree with you, Joe.
There would be no reason, there'd be absolutely no reason though that they couldn't renew it at 15
Right.
if everything was going swimmingly like it. If it wasn't, well, we'd be glad we had 15.
Yes.
Yeah, I think with the way the technology is changing too.
Pardon?
Sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
No, good point, Valerie. And the other thing is, remember, the special permit cannot be arbitrary and capricious, right? You can't be like, we don't like you and we're not going to give you this special permit. And by the way, I will not be here. I will assure you that. People wonder if, how long I'll keep doing this, but I assure you it is not 15 years. So when you all worry about it, then I think we'll talk about it then, but it's a specific criterion on special permits and it,
Okay.
it can't be arbitrary.
I have a question too. Because I've heard different amounts for how long the life of the solar panels are. For example, how, like, Teddy, coming from you, how long would you say is the life of the solar panels for your project?
Yeah, we believe that the useful life of the system is going to be between 35 and 40 years.
Oh, okay. Because that's a lot longer than I've heard in some other.
Yeah, some folks say
instances,
30.
so.
Some folks say 30. We have a lot of dollars in our budget to, replace solar panels if they crap out early or something like that. In the latter years, our business model is very much that of an asset owner versus a developer. So we're very careful in our operations and maintenance plan and put some extra dollars there to make sure that the useful life is as long as we can make it.
Thank you.
If your panels become ruined, broken, or say deer run through them or something,
Mhm.
do the heavy metals affect the ground underneath?
No.
No.
We've done, there's been extensive studies done for solar panels like the ones we're going to use, and they take them up and they blast them into little sand, and then they check how what the chemicals are like inside. And there's been proof that they're They do not increase above any level that is outside of the government regulation.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Okay. It sounds to me like we have a general consensus that 15 years might be okay. We're going to incorporate the 2 additional things that we've incorporated, and that is that you must pull the permit within 1 year and you must complete the operation within 2 years. That's a standard that we are doing now. But the trees, I'm uncertain as to what the issue is with the trees. I've seen drawings before. You're blocking the view off from the Button Vale development, which is up on the hill. That would be my understanding. Am I wrong?
Can we show the tree plan that we proposed? Jody, are you able to
Yeah,
share your
I
screen?
can share my screen if that's okay with you, Lisa. Or Allison, whoever is.
Yep, go
in
right
charge
ahead.
of- Alrighty, let me just get this right one up. Okay, hang on, it should be. Is it popping up or no?
Not yet.
All right, hang on, give me a minute. All right, it's showing on my screen. Let's see. I'm having trouble getting this to come up and I don't know why.
It
No.
says you're started screen sharing. It's got the dial going.
Yeah, it's not, it won't let me choose which screen to share. I don't know why. Hang on, give me a second. I'm gonna shut some stuff down. Maybe I've just got too many screens open here. Okay. No, it's not letting me pull up that screen. Shoot.
You want to email it over to me, Jody, and I can screen
Yes.
share it?
Yes, ma'am. I will send it to you right now.
Okay.
All right, it is on its way. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing this. Let me know when it pops up for you.
Will do.
You know what? I just was able to share. Hang on a second. You see it now?
Yes.
It just took a minute to get its act together. So what we're proposing is this line of trees that you can see it, it's fairly zoomed out here. It's that line of black dots that's sort of to the south.
And the reason we did that is because there's a natural buffer of the hill in the north along Green Lakes Road, which we didn't feel as though putting in trees where no one could see when they drive by or from their homes was necessary.
How tall are those?
The height at planting would be 6 to 8 feet, and they would be staggered.
Well, Jody, when you say staggered, what exactly do you mean?
Well, they would be, in a like 20-foot offset from center or less, depending on. Hang on, let me zoom in here. Maybe we can see it better. So they're 20 foot on center, just so that when they grow in, we have a full landscape buffer here.
Is that one row of 34 trees?
This is one row, yes, because the natural landscape here is such that, really, there's so much topography change, and the site is set back so far from the road here. Really, any vehicle driving down this road is gonna barely be able to catch a glimpse of the panels from here. So yeah, one row, 6 to 8 feet at the time of planting, and then they will fill in. But really, it is a little bit of a bonus. It's not absolutely necessary, except for that it was requested. So, it's a good faith effort to try to help you out in what you requested of us.
Joe, you said you had seen this before?
Yes, actually, they presented this, not the last time we approved them, but the time before when we approved them. They gave us a visual, and my recollection is the houses that are on the northerlymost part of Buttonvale were blocked out by some type of an embankment that obstructed the vision of the field. And that's why this hedgerow of trees is not more north of where it currently is.
And they're evergreen fir? What,
Yes.
aren't there several different types of evergreens?
Yeah,
Yes.
there are. Yes, these are evergreen fir species. So, is that something is there something else you would prefer?
No, I was just curious on what they were.
Will they be native to the area, native species?
Yep, native, deer resistant,
Okay.
all of that stuff. We had our landscape architect work on this. He works with Cornell, and he's out of Ithaca, and so yeah, this isn't something I just
Okay.
threw together. I wouldn't know.
And the reason it doesn't go beyond the entranceway, that's not part of your lease premises?
It's more that we talked a lot with Doug. Doug and I spent an afternoon on the phone, and just talked about what would be the most effective, at what point it would stop being effective or beneficial. And really, this is where, when you're coming up Green Lakes Road, or, coming down Green Lakes Road, whichever it may be, this is, the part of the property where a driver may be able to see the panels if they're going 55 mile an hour, the speed limit, and looking out their window. They might see it from this location. Yeah, I mean, at some point the screening is just overkill, and it doesn't really hide anything anymore.
I know there's grade there. I know, I realize that. If I could ask another question, I apologize because I don't believe I was on the board the last time this was presented, but I can see on this plan that you're showing the temporary staging area.
Mhm.
How
Yes.
long will that be there after construction is complete?
That may not even wind up being there during construction. We just put that in as sort of a placeholder in case the contractor needs someplace, but likely it wouldn't be that big. And as soon as construction is done, it's gone. I mean, it really is only just for the construction period.
So I'm assuming that would be gravel, and then you would replace the grassy area once it's done.
Yeah, most likely. Teddy, do you know different than that?
It'll just be grass. I mean,
Okay.
we'll if just as an example, when the solar panels or when the racking shows up, it needs to go somewhere. So depending on what the general contractor decides, whether they're going to put it out in the field where it needs to go as it arrives, or they need a place to store it for, a couple days, a week, they'll put it there. And as things move in, they'll be put out into the field where they belong. And that area is meant just for temporary housing of equipment.
Where is this equipment made?
The racking is made in New York. I believe that's where the facility is. They had in Selkirk. If we go with that company, if not, it'll be out of Ohio. with a different company. The inverters come from Asia, and the panels as well come from Asia. And we've already purchased those, and they're on their way.
My next question is to Lisa. Lisa, since this deals only with the length of time of the special permit and the timing of the planting, did we write to county for any further input from county?
No, we did not.
Okay,
It's my opinion that we would not need further input, Joe.
that was my thought as well, Jamie. Yep. Does anyone else have questions or want to discuss this further? That being the case, I would entertain a motion relative to the term of the special permit, the timing for the planting of the trees, and in the incorporation of the our standard 1 year to pull the permit and 2 years to complete construction. Did anyone want to be heard on the motion, for or against?
Joe, there is a prepared motion, which was circulated to board. I do have a question about the date of this evergreen tree plan and who prepared it, so that can be added into the resolution.
I'm seeing paragraph C in here, 4C, that does have the same term that they spoke of.
Oh, no, correct. I was asking about to identify that plan if the trees are going to be
Sure.
changed.
Yeah, the plan was by Tetra Tech, dated March 9th, 2021.
Thank you.
And that's
Thank you.
referred to on the first page of the special use permit.
Okay. Yep, I just wanted to make sure that that landscaping plan was referred to in the paragraph 3 resolution, because we did say the site plan remains in full force and effect. I wanted to add, except that the evergreen tree shall be planted in accordance with the plan dated March 9, 2021 by Tetra Tech.
But do they really plant in December?
We'll plant in the fall, but we just in case, we put a date that we knew we could hit.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
I don't want to go up against anyone who's winning all these awards for planting. I know you know your business.
Okay, so I guess we can work off the proposed resolution that council has drawn. If anybody is interested in making a motion.
Are we gonna do a? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting myself confused. I'll make a motion to approve the special use permit
The resolution is attached.
as written, yes.
Second.
Second by Ann Kelly. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Fred?
I said aye.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm looking for people to wave nowadays too. Are there any opposed? The motion is passed. So the relief you are asking for is partly granted to you, Teddy. Not everything, but partly. Okay.
We appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, before you go away, we're going to go into the second issue, which was the solar array at North Eagle Village. It's my understanding you wanted to be heard further regarding that. And can you just tell us, is it the same thing relative to the duration of the special permit and the tree planting?
Yes, and there's a little bit extra that I would like to talk about, having replaced in this as well about the planting.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Could I ask a housekeeping question first? That I had a note written, I forgot to ask it on the previous one, and it also is on this one. Have you got the FAA approval on both these sites?
Yeah, so there's no specific approval, like there's no like approval. It's a negative. We don't have any impact.
And you've got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have that, Lisa? Do you know?
It's probably in their folder. Yes.
Okay, all right,
Was submitted with the application, so
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we've
thought so.
done all of that work.
all right.
We have
thank
it,
you.
Rich. We have it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
I'm sorry,
Epstein?
Teddy.
Okay, thank you very much. So in regards to this permit, the request is to change the date from April 30th to December 31st. And then this is something that our council, your council didn't exactly talk about, but I wanted to just ask the board, is in paragraph C of the resolution, it said trees shall be planted by the applicant on the property of the neighbor's parcels. And then it names the parcels. And then it says the trees shall be mature blue spruce trees no more than 8 to 10 feet in height and shall be 30 in number of each of the neighbor's parcels. What I'd like to do is request to strike that short piece that says the trees shall be, that little piece, and just have the paragraph where it says, whereas the documents under consideration include the permit approval set prepared by Tetra Tech, dated May 4th, 2020, including a PE stamp from Brian. And again, this is Cielski with an L instead of a K. And the landscaping plan prepared by Tetra Tech dated March 12th, 2021. And we're happy to share that with you. It's just that I don't want to have the standard use permit contradict the actual landscaping plan, because the Young's property actually cannot accommodate 30 trees, and the Winchell's property can accommodate more than 30 trees. So we would rather have this landscaping plan approved, and it covers the full frontage of their property. And I've spoken to both parties. I actually spoke to Steve Winchell today, and they seem to be happy with the overall idea. So we were just asking that the landscaping plan be approved along with the special use permit. So there's no sort of vague idea of exactly where the trees are going to go and how many there should be.
Do you want me to share that screen of the?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Is that okay
Yeah.
with the board?
Yes.
Please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. I didn't get that one. So yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So as you can see, the solar array is going to be to the west as it was before. And as Jody's zooming in, it says the number of trees, Jody.
Yeah, so we have 53. Hang on, I gotta zoom in. I don't have my glasses on. Either 53 or 63.
Yeah, it's
Um,
17 on the Young's property to go across the entire property, and then 46 on the Winchell's property. So again, it's just not that 30 and 30. But as you can see, the trees there are fully
Yep, they go from end
Screening.
to end. Mhm.
where the homes are.
same size trees as the last project?
So these ones are 8 to 10 feet. And it says that in the plan where Jody is showing there, where it says landscaping key, right in the middle, it says 8 to 10 feet.
Why are these different? Just curious.
In discussions with the board,
Sorry, I'm new.
No, of course, yes, you're a new face. So in discussions with the board, these neighbors were more concerned about their neighbor's view shed and their view shed.
Okay.
No one showed up to the Green Lakes
Okay.
meeting at all. So this was a compromise that the board made, or a request the board made, excuse me, not a compromise.
Okay.
Have you, Teddy, have you had any discussions with these neighbors?
Oh, yes, I've been to both of their homes. I spoke to Mr. Winchell today, and we need to get some sort of documentation in place that allows us to plant those trees on their property, of course. But we were waiting until this meeting occurred to get a final approval before we put that documentation in front of them.
Okay, and I'd like to get them to sign some type of acknowledgement, agreeing to the number, the placement, so on, for our files.
So whatever we sign with them, we could give that to you? Is that? Or
Well,
does it
we
need to be on
talked,
Manlius letterhead?
I guess what I'm saying is it was gonna be 30 and 30, but one of the properties can't handle 30, so you're putting something less than that. I would just like the acknowledgement of that homeowner to say, yeah, I know I'm getting something less than the 30, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
What you're gonna
So-
get, I'm assuming what you're gonna get is some type of easement to go onto the property to plant the trees,
Permission. Yes.
license agreement, something.
Yeah, some permission to go and plant the trees on their property and then transfer the ownership of said trees over to them.
And then, this is kind of a crazy question, maybe I shouldn't even be worried, but what happens if some of those trees die?
So in this resolution, it has them, if they're planted on, except if the planted trees do not survive for at least 18 months beyond the date of planting, except in the event of a force majeure. It actually says, excuse me, it says with respect to the condition, in as much as the trees are planted on property not owned by the applicant will be under no obligation for future maintenance of the trees, except if the planted tree does not survive for at least 18 months beyond the date of planting. So we have to, if it dies within 18 months, then we would have to replace it.
Okay, thanks.
I think those trees where they're situated, it accomplishes exactly what we were talking about and exactly what the homeowners were looking for. So that the placement here, according to your plan here, it's fine. It's accomplishing what we were looking for. That being the case, did anyone else want to discuss further?
So in the event this is the resolution that's adopted, I wanted to note that the changes that might, is this a good time or you want to wait?
This is a good time.
The changes that would be proposed from the reviewed resolution would be at number 3, except that the blue spruce tree shall be planted in accordance with the plan dated March 9, 2021 by Tetra Tech. Also, under 4C, it's going to say that the trees are going to be planted to the Winchell property young in accordance with the plan referred to at number 3 above. The tree shall be mature blue spruce trees no more than 8 to 10 feet in height.
I was hoping
want to
that
take
we
that
could
off?
just, yeah, I was hoping we could just delete that entire sentence because it's
Just
redundant
the
and then contradictory. Thank
And
you.
then we wanted to take what Rich said, that the applicant is to submit proof of the neighbor's consent to this, right? Planning plan.
Yes.
And that's all that I have.
Jamie, that consent, due to the nature here, it might be an oral consent. And if that's the case, would an affidavit from the applicant as to the nature of the consent be appropriate?
That would be up to you. Yes, of course.
I think that would be fine. I'm worried that there's going to be oral consent and not something in writing. No reason for a written easement.
No, I was thinking, Joe, that they needed to get an easement or permission to go on their property. From our standpoint, I just wanted to make sure that the neighbors acknowledged and approved what was going to be done on their property.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion if someone would care to make a motion, and I'm presuming it would be consistent with the written and proposed resolution as modified herein.
I'll move.
I'll
To approve.
second.
Motion by Richard and second by Michael Roy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm not seeing any opposed. Motion carries. Mr. Epstein, you've got, again, part of the relief that you were really looking for, but a
Thank you.
15-year term is a good healthy length of time.
And we appreciate that, that concession by the board, and we look forward to making these projects a reality. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for caring
you.
for the neighbors.
Thank
If I
you.
could, Joe, if I
Oh,
could
yes, of
ask,
course.
I hate to slow things down, but I'm gonna ask a question. Was my motion not only to approve the special use permit, but also the site plan amendment?
I had trusted that incorporated the 1 year to pull the permit and 2 years to complete the project. Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. I was sure I said that, but just wanted to make sure you heard
Yes.
it. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Epstein. We're going to move on to the next case.
Thank you.
The next is a application by Brolex Properties. It's scheduled tonight for a public hearing relative to site plan. This is Freeman Estates. This is a 12-lot development, but 13 lots overall, located at 7430 High Bridge Road. I would first ask Madam Secretary whether we did proper notification publication.
Yes, sir. It's all set.
Did someone want to make a motion relative to reading or not reading the publication?
I would move that we waive the reading of the notice.
Second.
Motion made by Fred and second by Ann Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The reading is formally waived. Do we have an applicant here? Brandon is coming on board. Before we go into the public hearing, though, I'd like to address the seeker issues and make a determination relative to seeker. Jamie?
Yes, we need to answer the questions in the short environmental assessment form, part 2. Reminder that this is an unlisted action. Number 1, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations?
No.
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 I would point out that there was a zone change and it is in conformance with the cluster and the zone change. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land?
No.
Yes.
It's slightly,
Yeah. Slightly.
little.
There are only 4 acres being disturbed on a 22-acre parcel. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area?
No.
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 Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
Insignificant.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
Will the
No.
proposed, thank you. Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies or public or private wastewater treatment utilities?
No.
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 Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna?
No.
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 In fact, wetlands are not being disturbed on this site. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
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 There is some proposed findings in the short environmental assessment form as follows. This board determines further the applicant has presented stormwater calculations, road profiles, and relevant traffic information. The applicant will not disturb a substantial part of this lot. In fact, 17 plus or minus acres of a 22 plus or minus acre parcel will remain forever undeveloped and undisturbed, and the wetlands will remain undisturbed. The applicant has presented evidence the traffic from this development will not adversely affect the free flow of traffic on Route 92, and the New York State DOT has approved the road cut entry onto Route 92. The 12 lots presents an insignificant amount of additional traffic flow onto Route 92 from the single entry point on a public road cul-de-sac. Any stormwater issues are all mitigable and will be finalized upon the approval of the SWIP with the town engineer. The applicant has presented HOA documents providing for maintenance of common areas and attendant covenants. Environmental concerns relating to perpetual maintenance of the common areas will be mitigated upon subdivision approval, wherein this board will require a covenant to burden each property such that in the event the HOA does not maintain the property, resulting in fines or other charges being assessed to the HOA, and the HOA does not satisfy same, the individual lot homeowners will be responsible for same. This will be a covenant that will run to the benefit of the town of Manlius.
That's good.
I like that.
Yep, that's good.
So
Okay.
the
Go ahead,
question,
Jamie.
yep, the question is whether with the above findings, the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts. Yay.
I would move that's true.
Thank you,
I would-
Fred.
I would,
I
I
said
would
it a
sec-
I said it a little wonky, sorry.
if that's a motion, I'll second it.
Motion made by Fred, second by Richard. All in favor, this is the motion in support of a negative declaration then.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we've made a negative declaration relative to seeker. We can move forward and open the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that.
So
one.
moved.
Second.
Can I ask a quick question
Of course you can, Valerie.
before the public hearing? Just because I came into this project late and am new to the board still, so I'm still trying to catch up on everything. So I just went back on this particular project for all like the past minutes and agenda. So I just wanted to ask a quick question because I know there was like a zoning change for what was being looked at as duplexes and like senior living community and patio homes at one point in the minutes. But then now we're looking at $500,000 single family homes. So I just wondered before the public hearing, so I have a better understanding what the change was from the first proposed project to what we have now.
You want to address that, Jamie?
Yeah, sure.
I'll help you
So-
out if you need a hand.
Yeah, so it's an issue of density. When an applicant comes in with a plan on a cluster development, they first have to show what could be built there under the zoning code as it exists. Under the R2 zoning, there was less density allowed. Under the R3, there's more density allowed because multifamily dwellings are allowed. And
Okay.
Therefore, the number of multifamily dwellings, in fact, Doug and I discussed this and researched it. The cluster subdivision says that it's a number of units that are allowed in the cluster. So the R3 allowed a greater density, and it may allow slightly more homes than the R2 would have allowed. And the town board found that that was suitable for this. Does that answer the question? Did I get too technical? Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wondered, like, it seemed like a good, like initially the multifamily dwelling seemed uniform with what was around the area. And now it's the larger single family. So I was just trying to figure out where the transition was, and I couldn't see that in the play of the minutes really and the reasoning behind it. So that's what I was just trying to understand myself before everything else. So thank you.
Well, that's the developer making changes to the original application, and which they can do, and they have. So going back, do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Ann. Second by Richard. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Public hearing is hereby opened. How are we doing, Allison?
No comments in the Q&A. And it does seem like a good majority of the people as attendees are here for other items. I mean, there are some people here who are not, but.
So I just had somebody email me. I'm not sure if he wants to speak, so if we can just give him a minute to see if he can get in.
You can.
Okay. It's Mark Miller, Allison. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if he wants to speak.
Mark is in the meeting. Mark, if you'd like to speak, you can use the Q&A function and just type your comment in there. Oh, there is a hand raised. Would you like me to use allow to talk?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one second.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I was having a hard time finding the link, so would have liked to hear the discussion. Mike, I'm Mark Miller. I live on Thatchwood Drive, which borders the south part of the property that you're talking about. I was wondering about the green space, and is it going to be open to public, or is it going to be private, or has that been discussed?
I think we need to hear from the applicant on that.
You want me to answer that? No,
Yes, Tom, that'll be fine.
it will be owned by the homeowners association, and at this point in time, it will be private for the residents only. So it was not our intention to open it to the public. That is something the homeowners could do at some point in the future if they decide by a majority or supermajority to do so.
And I would like to suggest that it should be donated to the town of Manlius. I think that green space is a valuable asset in this area, and the town of Manlius doesn't really have anything that could be used. It's a great space for public to take in. We have beavers, we have otters, we have eagles flying by. So, you know, I think we have limited space. Although with the addition of Candy Lane, which is, you know, behind Candy Lane, there's 40 or 50 acres there. And the property next to us, or the property next to this proposed area, is allows public to use it. So it makes a nice corridor for green space. So when you go through and think about like a nice avenue or corridor for public to get into green space, I think should be considered. Potential, you know, a donation would be a nice gesture. I don't know what can be done, but I'm putting
Okay. Go ahead, Richard.
This is Rich Rosati, Mark. That is a request or requirement, if you want to take it a little bit further, that I would have no willingness to do. It is private property now. That decision is up to the HOA at some point, or the developer at this point. But I would be opposed to having that as a requirement to approving this subdivision.
Okay.
But as Lisa knows, I'm just one vote.
I agree. There's a liability issue that can be attached to that as well. And requiring that a developer donate 18 acres out of a 22 acre development could set very bad precedent. But if the developer decides later on to do that, that'll be their determination, or the homeowners association, the HOA would actually be in charge of that at that point.
Also, it's the town board that would have to decide if they would want that land.
And looking back at the minutes, there was a suggestion by I think it was Kreisel that she had suggested that it should be donated to the town, or a suggestion that it could be donated. So I'm just following what the minutes have talked about. So just bring it into, the attention of seeing what we could do to get, public access. I'm an advocate of parks.
There's no harm there, Mr. Miller. We thank you for your thoughts on that. Is there anything else you wanted to add relative to this public hearing?
No, I think it's well thought out, and I just concerned about the access for people.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ellison, is there anyone else?
I do not see anyone else. Q&A function has not been used, and there are no other hands raised.
That being the case, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
It looked like Ann was the first and Michael Roy was second on the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is hereby closed.
I have a question, Joe, if I could ask it at this point.
Go ahead.
Jamie, you and I talked about the covenants and restrictions and easements that have been put together through this project. Did you get a chance to talk to Tom or Brandon about the deeding of the common areas and how that's going to work? I'm still concerned about that.
And I know that one of the things that we wanted to do was talked about in this resolution that the board talked about with respect to the obligations of the homeowners that run with the land. So
Yeah, that was one of the concerns I had, but the other one, and Tom, maybe you can address this, and I'm just trying to get a handle on this, and I'm not an attorney, so in section 302, it says that the sponsor hereby covenants for itself, its successors and assigns that on or before conveyance of the first lot, it will convey to the association by warranty deed fee title to the common areas free and clear. And my concern was that the way this development is going together, we have the 12 buildable lots and then the 13 open space lot. And so if you deed over just the common areas as they're proposed on this plan, then there's going to be, once you deed over the home and you use the footprint as the lot, there will be some excess land within these approved lots that would then have to go to the HOA. And so my concern was, how does that happen?
Let's see if
You're on
Tom,
mute.
You're
on
muted,
mute,
Tom.
Tom. There
you
you go.
got me there. Am I on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Okay. What we do is we deed the entire parcel to the homeowners association and we accept lots 1 through 12. So we basically are conveying the entire parcel and we're reserving lots 1 through 12. Now 1 through 12 don't really exist yet because we haven't built the units and these are 0 lot line. So as we build each unit, we record a quit claim deed that the land under or within the unit itself from the HOA signs the deed back to the homeowner, clearing title to the land underneath. So there's no discrepancy between the filed map and what actually occurs. Make sense?
Okay, that makes, Jamie, that's what you were trying to explain to me and I didn't quite understand it, but that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Lisa, are we waiting to hear from the county on this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we cannot go any further this evening. We will put it on the next available calendar following the county's input, and we'll then hold a vote.
Can I ask Tom Boot a question?
Yes.
Tom, when you control of a development to a homeowners association, how organized is that homeowners association need to be? Are there officers and somebody that's really responsible to that can be contacted about problems or any other issues?
Yes, in the first instance, our officers of our corporation will serve as officers for the homeowners association until we have the first annual meeting. And usually that's when we have at least a majority, half the units are sold and occupied. But within the offering plan, we will have to set up a term limit, so it can't exceed a certain duration, that it will be turned over to the homeowners. And then, of course, we'll need volunteers, resident volunteers to serve those positions. So hopefully we'll have, a number of volunteers living there, but we'll fill in the voids until that takes place. So that's usually the way we progress. And I've done them as small as 12 before, and they do work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Lisa, do we have a date for the return of the county for the Hear from County Planning?
Yep, we could put them on our next agenda for April 26th.
April 26th. Okay, Tom and Brandon, that's going to be the date, April 26th.
Okay.
And we should be able to conclude this application at that time.
Very good.
Ask Tom you heard of the proposed covenant that we want to run to the benefit of the town?
Yes, basically that if there's a default by the homeowners, and I think I have started some language in there, but we can clean that up.
Thank you. So if the board is so inclined then to accept this next time, it would be good if we could get it done at, before that meeting.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Brandon. We're going to move on. The next item on the agenda is an application by Naparella Consulting. This is scheduled for public hearing on a site plan for a proposed storage facility, 7030 Manlius Center Road, East Syracuse. Two tax map numbers, 062-4-6.1 and 062-4-6.2. Madam Secretary, have we done adequate publication of the open house?
Yes, we have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, ma'am. I would
welcome.
entertain a motion if someone wants to make a motion relative to the reading of that publication.
I'll make a motion to waive the reading.
Second.
Motion made by Richard and second by Fred. All in favor of the waiving?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We would now need to move into secret.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have the part 2 environmental impact assessment on this unlisted action. Questions as follows. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations?
No.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land?
Slightly.
A little bit.
The proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No.
No.
The proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area?
No.
No.
The proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies or public or private wastewater treatment utilities?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources such as wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
No.
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 Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
No.
No.
Having found all of those small or impact, would this a negative seeker declaration could be entertained by this board?
I would move that it be a negative declaration.
Second.
Motion by Fred. Was that second by Richard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Or anybody, doesn't matter.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Negative declaration relative to secra. We can now open the public hearing if I have a motion for that.
So moved.
Michael Roy, and second by Arnie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is hereby opened.
I don't think we have anybody waiting, right, Ally?
No, I don't see anything here or in any other place.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Lisa.
Hearing
That being
none,
the case, we can entertain a motion. Ann,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
I'll second.
motion made by Ann and Valerie. Arnie beat you by 1 second. All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
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 Aye. Public hearing is hereby closed. Lisa, are we still waiting from the county on this one?
Nope, we're all set on this one.
We could entertain a motion, folks, relative to approval or disapproval of the site plan at this time.
I'd move approval of the site plan.
I second.
Could we have some discussion?
We can
Sure.
always have discussion, Richard.
I think I know the answer to this, but I want to ask anyway. And I guess, Christian, you're the one that needs to answer it. Have you gotten the DOT approval for the curb cut?
We have not. We're in discussion with them. The last coordination we had with them was we sent back the revised plans showing the relocated driveway location. We're hoping that that satisfies their stage 1. We have not sent them stage 2 because I didn't want to send them, full design plans with the driveway that they didn't like. So once they give us approval for stage 1, we'll go through the stage 2 submittal, and hopefully with the relocation, they have no further issues.
Okay, so I guess this would be contingent on approval by the state for the curb cut, Joe?
It would be, yes.
Okay,
And if
I've also got to review the SWIP, but that should be no problem. We can work
Yeah.
with Christian's office on that.
It says something about the
Perfect.
lighting plan too. Have you done anything with the lighting to submit with the county?
I believe that the county saw the lighting plan the first time we submitted it. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any other comments on the lighting plan.
Doug, did we have a problem, Doug, from our point of view, Doug, on the lighting plan?
I did not. I mean, there was a planometric that showed all the foot candles at 0 at the perimeter. What was the
Yeah, I
county
don't-
comment?
If I remember correctly, at this time, I don't think we're showing any pole mounted light fixtures. I think everything is just building mounted wall packs.
Okay.
And they will all be downlit, dark sky compliant. It should be pretty straightforward.
Okay,
Okay.
the county did say they wanted to take a look at it for
Yeah.
review, that's all.
Okay. I'll double check that and make sure that they're getting what they need.
Good, thank you.
with
Thank
0
you.
at the perimeters, though, I think that issue is kind of settled and resolved. I'd be surprised if the county came back with anything else. Am I correct, Jamie? Okay,
Yes, I think you'll be correct on that.
so we've got a motion made, and I hope Lisa knows who, because I forgot already who made the motion and seconded it. And that was for
I did, Mike.
approval. That was for approval of the site plan.
Correct.
All in favor?
With the condition of, with the DOT.
condition,
Correct.
with the conditions.
Yes.
DOT, and that the county will look at the lighting.
Yes.
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Okay. Anybody opposed? I think I'm seeing everybody raising their hand. So the motion carries. Site plan is approved with those conditions as outlined. Christian, you all set?
Perfect. Yes, we should be all set. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kristen.
sir.
Lisa,
Thank
make sure you get in there. We have to review the SWIP still too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've
As a
got it. Thank
condition.
you. Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
Right. thanks, Christian.
Yep, thank you.
Now, folks, the next item on the agenda is an application by Melanie Nicotra. And this is for property located at 7075 North Manlius Road, Kirkville. This is scheduled today for a public hearing on a site plan for the erection of a greenhouse. And the greenhouse would be located at the corner of 7550 Colomer Road, East Syracuse. They have made one change on the plan that has been circulated, and that is they've removed the entranceway from what I would call Colomer Road, and it's now going to be on the Minoa Bridgeport Road. Other than that, the site is still the same. We had determined that there is no need to deal with SECRA because this is not a solid structure and it should have absolutely no impact relative to stormwater. That being the case, I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, second by Richard. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is hereby opened.
I don't think we have anything for this one either.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing then.
Second.
Motion made by Ann Kelly, second by Valerie Beecher. All in favor to close?
Aye.
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 Do you want to make a quick motion to waive the reading of the public hearing that we just closed?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that sounds like a good idea. First of all, the motion carries. And Madam Secretary, did you in fact publish the required listing for the public hearing?
Yes, sir, I did.
And would someone care to make a motion relative to the reading of that public notice?
Yes, you betcha.
Fred makes a motion to waive the reading.
I'll second.
Second by Michael Roy. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The reading is hereby waived.
Doug, can I ask you a question? Since this isn't a permanent structure, setbacks don't matter. Is that correct? Because nowhere on the plans that I see any setbacks, unless I missed them. I'm pretty sure I didn't see any. So should we be concerned?
I believe you're correct, but if you look, the building sits way back off the road. So regardless, Rich, it meets all the setbacks for that zone.
Okay, it's only because technically the front of the building has been changed because the driveway now is not on 298. And I'm just wondering about the side yard setback on the right side of the building. I don't know if that's north or south or what it is.
I mean, Melanie can confirm, but it looks like the building sits back, 80, 90 feet off the road.
Okay.
Because
then
she's
I'm
got
not
the
gonna-
parking around it and everything else. So I mean, it
It's a
sits back
temporary-
pretty far.
And it's a temporary structure, so we probably don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this greenhouse.
Motion made by Ann,
Second.
second by Richard. All in favor of the approval of the site plan for the greenhouse?
Aye.
Melanie, did you get an approval for the road cut on Shep's Corner Road? That was one of their conditions.
Melanie, you're
You're
muted.
muted, Melanie.
You're still muted. There you
There
go.
you go.
My technical analyst needs help, my teenager. So far, the only thing I've gotten from the county is the thing I got from the planning board.
Yeah.
That said I couldn't use 298.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I've gotten, but that driveway I assumed was approved because of, they basically said it was approved, as long as I don't use 298.
Yeah, item 2 on there says the applicant is
Mhm.
required to coordinate Sheph's Corners Road access plans with the county DOT.
Yeah,
So I'm going to trust that this approval of the site plan is contingent upon the DOT, county DOT approval.
There you go. That works, Joe.
Yep.
Okay, Melanie, I think you're all set. Good luck with your new enterprise.
thank you. Appreciate it, you guys do.
Folks, the next item on the agenda is a brand new application coming before us for the very first time. It's an application by David Morocco for a zone change recommendation to conduct a real estate office located at 112 South Burdick Street in Fayetteville.
Joe,
Yes.
I'm going to have to recuse myself for a potential conflict of interest.
Thank you, Richard. It was nice hearing from you. We'll see you after this application is over. I see David and Lewis. Would one of you like to speak and tell us basically what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it, and what is the nature of the zone change you have requested to the town board?
Okay, I'm David Morocco, my son Louis Morocco. We're a small commercial development company with a small office, 6 people total. We sub out all of our accounting, legal, and engineering, of course, and subcontractors. So we went under contract for 112 South Burdick, the Shipwell house. I just happened to notice it for sale for quite a while. And during this whole COVID thing, and our offices are in DeWitt right now, and we're climbing all over each other. I thought this would be a great new setting for our offices, seeing that half my office is my family. So my daughter Alexis is also involved. So I pursued the property, put the property under contract, and then to find out through the title work that there was an agreement. The property is currently owned by the Audi family, which is Stickley, and they were using this as like a conference center and a housing for all of their worldwide accounts that they do. So they bring people in from out of town and they stay at this home, and they use it almost as like a corporate meeting center. But when we were going through the title work, there's a covenant that says that, back 20 years ago, that this, once they stop using it for what they're using it for, specifically conference center, housing for their worldwide clients, that it reverts back to RA. And that just must have been an agreement that was made by the planning board. So I kind of made a big stink about it. We went to the town, and I originally was requesting to go to commercial because the Craftsman's commercial, everything around us on the north side is commercial. And the town came up with about a good idea that I agreed to 2 weeks ago to go from an RA to RM, which I didn't realize in the RM that it's a lot more flexible. So I'm good with the RM. I don't need commercial. I'm not there to develop. I'm not changing the use of this house. Well, the structure, I'm not building anything. All I'm going to do is restore the home. It's a beautiful home. It's hidden up there. It's just very quiet. And we're really excited about, doing the move. So we're in front of you, looking for a recommendation, and then I guess we'll be back in front of the town next.
Can you tell us roughly what the size of the building is?
The home is approximately 4,200 square feet. It's 3 stories. It's on 2.07 acres of land. It's got an existing paved driveway, a 3-car garage on the lower side, and Ed Audi still owns the lower home. I believe in 2018 he got a subdivision. I don't know why. Well, probably to sell the house, to sell the Shipway home. They did the subdivision in 18. So he's on the lower side. Of course, he doesn't have a problem with what I'm trying to do. I just want to do the right thing here and make sure that if I start spending money and moving all my, offices there, that I'm allowed to do what we would like to do there.
What are you gonna do to the driveway going up to the house?
Pave it. It's already paved.
Yeah, you can put a railing up or anything?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to expand it out a couple feet.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great use for it.
What would you do for parking?
It's got a circular apron area that can handle probably, if I modified it a little bit, we probably could get 8 or 9 parking spaces, but if I leave it just the way it is, it's like 6-car, 7-car parking plus the 3-car garage below.
Okay.
So if you get this zone change, Mr. Morocco, you'd be coming back to this board for site plan approval?
I guess I did submit the survey. That's very accurate. I don't know what you would need me to do as far as the site plan goes. Do you need more than what's on this survey and showing the roadway, existing roadway?
Doug, I guess we'll have to do a codes analysis on the RM.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, Dave. I mean, if you're not going to change anything, maybe there isn't much to do. I've been up there. I mean, what Dave described is pretty much what's there, unless he wanted to pave and put a couple more spots in, but I don't know if he needs many more spots than what you already got, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it almost sounds like there may be no need to come back to the planning board relative to site plan. There may be no changes.
Well, I guess we'll see what the RM requires, and it might be might be some things that are grandfathered. So I'll work with Doug on that analysis.
Yeah, and Dave, you might want to just take a look at it and make sure you're happy with what that site plan looks like today, and that's all you want. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
good. I mean, we'll cut down, there's some trees that are diseased and we would replant. I mean, that's really landscaping up in the hill there. But it'll look nice. We'll light it up a little bit up there so you actually notice it at night, and we'll make it look really nice, especially with everything that's happened at the Craftsman. But again, this property has had a tough time marketing as a residential home because what your view shed is the rooftops, rooftop units on the Craftsman, which has expanded quite a bit. And when that agreement was done 20 years ago, town center was not what it is today. I mean, it's, but for us, we think that's like a cool view shed because we're in commercial real estate and residential, apartments. So we're
And
excited about
Starbucks.
doing this. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said, and Starbucks right there. I looked at the zoning. I think it's a much better use than RA for that particular spot.
So, having said that, I just a reminder that the applicant's here right now for a referral on the zone change recommendation. I don't know that, this board is ready to do that, or if they want to do it the next meeting, or if they feel comfortable, but also a reminder that when there's a zone change, it's for any use that would be in the RM, and is it suitable? Not just this use of this applicant right now today.
I'll make a motion to approve it. To suggest, to recommend it.
Recommend the zone change?
Yes.
I'll second.
I think it's a good use for that property.
Motion made by Ann and Valerie, second by Valerie, to recommend to the town board a zone change from RA to RM. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? I'm not seeing anyone left. Sir, our recommendation to the town board will be that the zone change be granted. That'll be their determination whether to do so, but we will be forwarding that recommendation to them.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. Thank you.
So Dave, Jamie's probably right. We should look at that site plan and make sure everything you want on there is there. Because we're gonna need something on file long-term for the RM, right, Jamie?
Okay.
You can call me.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all your time. Thanks
Thank
all.
you, sir, for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
Folks, we concluded all of our regularly scheduled agenda for this evening, but I've got two add-ons that I wanted to hit you with. And thank you, Richard, for returning again.
You're welcome.
I have been approached by a few people making some inquiries. They're hearing things, and rather than let people hear things, I think we ought to tell them what is going on. There's been some indication that the town board has put out for interviews and is interviewing the possibility of changing the town engineer. That in fact is correct information. They are doing whatever it is they feel is necessary for them. The question arose as to what is the town planning board doing? And the town planning board is not looking for any changes. We do have a very well-oiled machine here. We are getting all the help that we've been looking for from Miller Engineering. We are not looking to make any change.
Right.
So I'm hoping I did the right thing. I put the word out to the town board and to the town supervisor that we are not looking for any modification or change, that we are fully satisfied with good services provided by Miller Engineering. So in case you folks hear that there's changes in the works, that looks like it might be likely, but as long as Miller Engineering is willing to continue representing the town planning board, it's our intent to have them continue representing us. Okay?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep. All in
then
agreement.
Then the very last item is, it's my understanding relative to Hogue Lane and the Woodland Hills development. The town attorney has heard from everybody on this board, and they have let them know exactly what they're feeling. Give them a heads up as to where we're coming from, the individual members, and everyone is providing rationale as to how they justify what their decision may be. So it's my understanding that the town engineer and the town attorney are working on consolidating all of those feelings from our membership, and is going to be incorporating them into a written resolution. We want everyone, the public and the applicant, to fully understand we're not just giving you a decision, we're giving you a very informed decision, and we want you to know what our basis for that decision is, so that everyone has no question as to where we're coming from and why we're doing what we're doing. So as soon as we got something in more precisely in writing, we will be scheduling a final vote relative to that subdivision application. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Seeker first, Joe. It'll be a seeker finding.
The final seeker, yes.
Yes,
Jamie, you're always on the ball.
sometimes. I'm awake tonight.
Fred, at this point, we would entertain a motion.
I'll second it.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a motion by Fred, second to Arnie, to stand adjourned.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good meeting, Joe.
Motion carries. We're all set. Thank you, everyone, for this evening.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Allison, for your
Thank you.
help.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.